Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Family Sedan channel. Another bank has collapsed. In case you're not keeping count, I'll just let you know that makes bank number 3 within the last week. Signature Bank, another major bank that supports the cryptocurrency industry. We've got this at almost the same time. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse announcing that Ripple does in fact have exposure to Silvergate Bank, the second bank to collapse within the last week, which you've been talking about heavily, so I'll assume that most of you are caught up to speed on that. This news is breaking. It came out just slightly over an hour ago. I actually wasn't planning on putting out another video today, and I'm a bit crunched for time, so I'm going to try and be as quick as possible for this particular video and get this uploaded as quickly as possible. But I figured with breaking news as substantial as this, definitely wanted to cover it if I could as it was happening, so I am taking a few minutes out just to make sure I can take care of it. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. So here's a headline from CNBC. Regulators close New York's Signature Bank, citing systemic risk. U.S. regulators on Sunday shut down New York-based Signature Bank in a bid to prevent the spreading banking crisis. We are also announcing a similar systemic risk exception for Signature Bank, New York, New York, which was closed today by its state chartering authority, Treasury, Federal Reserve, and FDIC said in a joint statement Sunday evening. So I'll pause to note, this is what my suspicion has been. Never known for sure how this is all going to pan out. Maybe it's possible that the government would have just been like, hey, well, it looks like this could be a systemic risk, but we're just not going to, not only are we not going to bail out a bank, but we're not going to even make sure that depositors are whole. I never thought that was the probable thing. Technically possible, but no. I always thought it was much more likely, as I've been citing, that there would have been some sort of action taken. It wasn't a guarantee that we'd have the news breaking tonight, but not that particularly surprising, because by the time Monday rolls around, as I said in my very last video, things better be figured out, or else markets are going to have a bad time. Because, I mean, you're talking about with Silicon Valley Bank going down. Well, it's just the number of people that would impact. You're talking about like potentially 100,000 people being impacted, just not getting payroll going through. The degree to which this could cause the economy to, take a major dip, and would it cause all sorts of other, businesses that have accounts at smaller regional banks? Would that cause them to shift to bigger banks like JP Morgan? That's the type of stuff that ideas that people have been posited. I talked about the concept on my channel today even. So there's been all sorts of concerns surrounding this. But it does look like the Fed is stepping in here and going to make sure that depositors are okay. So let me continue reading through the piece here. The banking regulator said depositors at Signature Bank will have full access to their deposits. A similar move to ensure depositors at the failed Silicon Valley Bank will get their money back. All depositors of this institution will be made whole. As with the resolution of Silicon Valley Bank, no losses will be borne by the taxpayer, the regulator said. The regulator shuttered Silicon Valley Bank on Friday and seized its deposits in the largest U.S. banking failure since the 2008 financial crisis, and the second largest ever. The dramatic move comes just days after the tech-focused institution reported that it was struggling, triggering a run on the bank's deposits. Signature is one of the main banks to the cryptocurrency industry. It had a market value of $4.4 billion as of Friday, according to FactSet. The stock had fallen nearly 40% this year after its crypto banking peer Silvergate Capital liquidated its bank. Isn't that crazy to think? Just literally 2 days ago, it had a market value of $4.4 billion, and now it has a market value of $0 2 days later. Things happen fast, man. Things definitely happen fast. And this news just broke, by the way, at 5:15 p.m. Central Standard Time, or 6:15 if you're looking at Eastern Time. And then they wrote here, as of December 31st, Signature had $110.4 billion in total assets and $88.6 billion in total deposits, according to a securities filing. To stem the damage and stave off a bigger crisis, the Fed and Treasury created an emergency program to backstop deposits at both Signature Bank and Silicon Valley Bank using the Fed's emergency lending authority. While depositors will have access to their money, equity, and bondholders at both banks are being wiped out, a senior Treasury official said. So, this is a crazy time to be alive. 3 banks going belly up inside of a week, and Ripple's got exposure to at least one of them, Silicon Valley Bank. And so here's Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse at 4:14 p.m. Central Standard Time. He just happened to put this out 1 hour, almost to the minute, 1 hour before the Fed released the news that Signature Bank, out of nowhere, that wasn't even on many people's radars. Frankly, it's not that surprising though, just given that they're kind of tech specific and big on the crypto industry. That niche was having trouble in general, so it's not that surprising. That was the other big bank to be known, but it just kind of makes you wonder, where's the cryptocurrency industry going to go for banking support? Because even Coinbase, if memory serves, after Silvergate, I think it was I think after Silvergate went down, I'm pretty sure if memory serves, it was Coinbase stating, "Hey, we're still working with Signature Bank." So I don't know. We'll see. The options for firms in the world of crypto kind of dwindling here. But yeah. So about an hour before that news broke, Brad Garlinghouse happened to give an update on Ripple's exposure to Silicon Valley Bank, the second failed bank. And so here's what Brad Garlinghouse said: setting the record straight on Silicon Valley Bank questions. Ripple had some exposure to Silicon Valley Bank. It was a banking partner and held some of our cash balance. Fortunately, we expect no disruption to our day-to-day business and already held a majority of our United States dollars with a broader network of bank partners. Obviously, a lot is still unknown about what happens with Silicon Valley Bank, and as is the case with many others, we hope to have more details soon. But rest assured, Ripple remains in a strong financial position. It's ironic that so much of what's happening, as some companies scramble to make payroll, highlights how broken our financial systems still are, i.e., wires are still not 24/7, 365. Rumors lead to collapse and the frictions of moving money within a deeply fragmented system. So there you go. So that's actually overall good news. I don't know to what degree they had exposure, but at this point, we now have the great news that depositors, they have nothing to worry about at this point. And although this in theory could have been disastrous had all of Ripple's funds been held at the bank, I never thought that was probable. But in a pure disaster scenario, if that were the case, and then if the funds weren't going to be, if depositors weren't going to be made whole, that would have been catastrophic area. But not that I thought that was going to be the case, but if there were a true disaster scenario, in theory that could have happened. But now you can sleep easy knowing that's indeed not the case. Looks like Ripple's going to be just fine here. And markets are thrilled about the news. You can take a look at live coin watch here. You got the price of Bitcoin. You can see it was already kind of trending up for a bit of this afternoon, but around this time that this news broke here, you can see 5:15 p.m. Central Standard Time, whoop, just a zip to the upside. And XRP did the same thing. You can see it visually looks the same for that moment in time. As soon as 5:15 rolled around, that news broke. It was obviously from the get-go, obviously very good. Got a big break to the upside. So you've got Bitcoin now over $22,000. You've got XRP over 37 cents. Not bad considering there's a 24-hour low of XRP for 35 cents. So this is good. This is the news that we were hoping for, unless you were hoping for lower prices for any crypto you want to purchase, in which case, too bad, so sad. But no, markets are rejoicing at this point, so it'll be interesting to see how equities respond tomorrow. But I don't know, are equities going to freak out? Crypto market participants are happy here. So presumably, the participants in equities would equally be thrilled because they're stemming or any sort of systemic risk right here effectively that could have spread further. So that's what we know at this point. So anyway, I'll go ahead and wrap up here. I just want to get something out real quick here, but there's going to be lots to digest tomorrow and throughout the week, and we'll see how markets respond to all of this. But this is looking pretty damn good. I'm going to keep tracking, just out of curiosity, markets for the rest of the evening. But it looks like, to this point at least, and granted it's only been going on a little over an hour since the news broke, looking pretty favorable. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the Moon Family Sedan.